This video is about Foolio, man. Foolio, the rapper who just lost his life, hailing from Jacksonville, Florida. Was Foolio a sacrifice? Yes, and I'm gonna tell you why, man. We're gonna speak on that. We're gonna speak on karma, a lot of things that he spoke about, and the things that I gathered from his life, from me watching as many interviews as I could about bro and his music. Now, was I a fan actively while he was still alive? Unfortunately, no. I didn't dislike him, and I didn't I was always drawn to him in a specific way. Like I watched a couple of his interviews and that's how I usually get, inspiration to listen to people's music. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of niggas are trash, bro. And um I didn't want to be disappointed by listening to his music because that would affect how I actually think of him. Now, of course, I listened to two of his songs before he passed, which was Demigod and When I See You. And just listening to those, I knew he was talented, but I didn't know exactly how talented bro was. Um, I would have to say, just the things I did gather, he was an intelligent young man. He was the most important thing about this whole situation was his love, his love for his city, his love for black men. And you might say Aaron Moses, but that's all he talked about was removing, was deleting, was putting black men under the ground. But at the end of the day, if you don't know me personally, I will tell you, I'm not going to go on an interview and wish my opposition and people that talked about my past loved ones. I'm not gonna tell you that I still want them to succeed. I still want them to get their family out the hood. I still want them to prosper. No, I don't want that to happen. If you do something to me or my people, I don't want anything good to happen to you for forever. You and your whole bloodline. I don't want you to smile one more day. And that is not how Foolio felt about these people. Well, that's not what he spoke. But even me, whatever media training I might have, whatever the OGs might tell me, whatever my family and loved ones might tell me, I'm gonna go on the internet and I'm gonna say that if you hurt me or you hurt somebody I love, no, I don't want you to. I don't wish you anything good. I don't care what color you are, and I don't care what city you come from. But Fulio didn't feel as strongly as I do about situations like these because at the end of the day, who sacrificed Fulio? Now I'm not with the whole Illuminati 666 devil. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, we're gonna break down what a sacrifice is exactly. Okay, sacrifice offering and the importance of that in spirituality. This is more of a spiritual video. Okay, just so you don't get too far into it and you think I'm gonna talk about some street stuff. But at the end of the day, what is a sacrifice? A sacrifice is when you give something that was asked of you, something that was needed, that was asked of you. It more so is something that is not easy to give, okay? Something that you're gonna have a lot of emotions behind. That's a sacrifice. An offering is when you give something without it being asked of you. Something is usually something more so that's simple, something that doesn't have as much emotions behind it. Okay? So if I ask you to give me a ride, bro, to work, I'm asking you to give me a sacrifice. You don't feel like doing it, you was about to go to sleep, that's a sacrifice. And if you ask me if I need a ride to work and I take it, you gave me an offering. Okay? That's the difference. Now, in spirituality, in life, nothing can happen as far as growing, evolution, getting anything great in return without a sacrifice. As they say in the church, God does not send down fire on an empty altar. Okay? God does not send down fire on an empty altar, which means you have to give God a sacrifice. You have to give God an offering. You have to make a payment. Okay? You have to make a payment. for anything good to happen in your life. And what happened was, from what I would gather, now I didn't listen to too many of Young and Ace's interviews at this moment. I have only listened to two or three. But Foolio was the first underground popping rapper that didn't get too big to the point where he wasn't able to relate and actually come back to his city. Now he named some chick. I don't remember who he kept saying in all his interviews. Can't remember her. I do remember Nardo Wick and the Osiris dude. That's what I'm talking about. They got too big to be able to even turn back and put Jacksonville in that position. But Fulio, on the other hand, he hit that sweet spot where he had millions. I don't know if we still rocking or not. Yeah, something going on with my camera, but I'm gonna just keep rocking. He had millions of views, hundreds of thousands of views, and was still able to stay relatable. And unfortunately, he had the same love for Jacksonville that he had for the bros, bro. See, at the end of the day, leave your comments. I don't know if we're still going or not, but at the end of the day, him having that same toxic love that he has for Jacksonville, he had that for his homeboys that passed away. His homeboys that he was constantly talking about, possibly backdooring him, stealing from him, breaking the trust that he built with them. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you guys can still hear me or what have you. But by him having that same love for Jacksonville and the same love for the residents inside Jacksonville, whether they were with him, whether they were against him, as long as they were prospering, as long as they were real people from Jacksonville, is what he gave his life to. He sacrificed himself to Jacksonville. Now, I'm not gonna say all like I said at the beginning. I'm not on the Illuminati talk. I'm not on the Charleston White trying to troll and the shock value stuff. I'm not with the Hassan Campbell. Yeah, he got a snotback rock. I don't like neither one of them niggas. I don't wish anything good for either one of those dudes. I don't care how much they give to donations for children. Bro, you put too much negativity in the universe, and I am the universe, and I don't like that. So, anyways, as I was saying, Foolio sacrificed himself to Jacksonville. I, of course, never had a conversation with dude, but what I can gather logically, he thought his time was gonna come. He knew his time was gonna come because he spoke a lot about karma. He spoke about a football coach or a basketball coach, I forgot which one, who was in the streets. And eventually he ended up losing his life to gun violence, even though he changed his life. Now, as a black people, we have to understand our spirituality in totality a lot better. Now, what karma is very important in this context. Karma is essentially, what karma is your spiritual genetics. It's the energy that you're born with that you have uh, taken from past lives. If you don't believe in past lives, you could say you inherited it from your ancestors, your parents. I'll give you an example. If you're if you're constantly getting into car accidents, or you're constantly, buying cars that don't work very well, you might want to do some research on your ancestry, and you find out that your great grandfather was a car thief. Okay, he used to steal cars and he used to carjack people with guns. Okay, you constantly having issues with vehicles, that is karma. That's your karma that you got from your grandfather. But you stepping on a bug today, and then you wake up in the morning and you eat some cereal and you find a roach in your cereal, that's not karma. That just means you need to clean your house, sir. That's exactly that's what that means. But when you do anything in this world, you can neutralize it, even taking a life. Nipsey Hussle, that wasn't karma. Okay? You could say, oh, Nipsey just talked about hurting people and doing this. That wasn't karma, bro. Foolio, that wasn't karma. That was just highly intelligent people not taking advantage of their intelligence. That's what that was. That wasn't karma, bro. So at the end of the day, I think he I think he subconsciously manifested this because he spoke about himself, passing away in a lot of his music. Okay? That's one thing that he did. And he showed love, and he had love for Jacksonville so much that he would go back a lot. And he loved the people in his city, whether they hurt him or somebody that he loved, a lot. Because he knew that we are all one, we're all connected, we're all black. And not all of them, we're all black. So he understood that what I'm doing, this is what I want you to do. Because we all are brothers of the same struggle. You're not doing anything different that I would do. You're not doing anything differently than I am doing. We have the same blood, we have the same flesh. And I think he understood that very well. But what he did not understand very well, unfortunately, was karma, was the law and the universal laws and cause and effect. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think that's something that he was very conscious of because of how he spoke and because of his obvious fears. Him knowing that something was going to happen to him at some point, and something like this, the state of mind is a mental hell. I spoke in one of my videos, if you listen, that your soul can be judged before you pass away. Your soul could be in hell right now. Your soul can be in heaven right now, and you're still walking around and you don't even know it. Or you could be just a regular person going through life and you just got a bad life. Everybody's not that, but you can be judged before your soul leaves this body. There's just a link. You're just channeling hell. You're just channeling demonic spirits, or you might be on the positive polarity. You're just channeling heaven and angelic spirits and manifesting those things into your life. Okay? So at the end of the day, Foolio was suffering. Foolio put himself in a mental hell. Okay? He was constantly saying that he believes in karma and that things are happening to people around him, his opposition, and the people around him that were his friends and family because of their karma, aka the law of cause and effect. Because you did this, because you harmed so many people, this is guaranteed to happen to you. Nothing in life like that is guaranteed. That's just not how it works. There can be things that you could do to clear your karma, okay? You can give offerings to the people that you've harmed. You can make give their family peace, okay? If you harm a lot of people, you can make an attachment to death in a way that the energies of death will serve you. You don't speak about the dead because you're disrespecting death. And at that point, yes, you are going to alter your karma. At that point, yes, you're disrespecting death, just like it states in the Bible, not to disrespect God, not to worship yourself and not to worship multiple deities and entities. That's exactly what's going on. When you speak ill of the dead, you are calling death to work against you. And there are ways to neutralize that. We're going to speak on that later. But at the end of the day, how do you clear your karma, bro? You have to keep in mind those people that you harmed. And you have to make amends with them. You could do it materially, you could do it spiritually, energetically. You have to look that up, or we could speak on that later. Contact me and I'll let you know. But if you do something, bro, where do you think these people get this from? The Christians. as far as being forgiven and saying Hail Marys and things like that. That's not a, the Bible might not be real, but that's real spirituality right there. You can give energy to the people that you harmed. You can help them move on. You can pray for them. You can give them positive energy. And just because you harmed them physically doesn't mean you can't heal them spiritually, and you don't have to pass away like that. That energy, that law of cause and effect doesn't have to necessarily affect you. Am I telling you to go outside and shoot up 100 people and then and try to make it right so you don't get shot up the next day yourself? That's not what I'm saying, bro. But if you did something when you were young and now you're a changed person, that's another way to change your life. And now you're a changed person, you don't have that in your heart anymore, and you're a completely changed person, the likelihood of you being affected by that is lower, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to come back to you. That football coach, that football coach that he spoke on that got shot, that got gunned down when he used to be a shooter, he used to be in the street. He didn't clear his karma correctly. He was on the right path. He was on an excellent path. But the thing about him, he still felt that guilt 9 times out of 10. He still felt that shame 9 times out of 10. He still felt that fear 9 times out of 10. And when you still carry the energies of fear, shame, guilt, and you don't forgive yourself in totality for all the people you harmed, yes, cause and effect is going to happen to you. If you keep on talking about it and glorifying it, or you're depressed over it, yes, because that's still a part of your energy. That's party. That's still part of your identity. And you get what you feel in life. And if you still feel those, excuse me. But what we do have to understand, I'm gonna give you a couple things you need to practice. If you are trying to clear your karma, if you've done some things that you can never undo, one thing that you could do is you could visualize your own grave site with your name on it, your birthday, and the age you want to pass away at. So, for example, me, my name is Aaron Hister. I will visualize a grave site with beautiful grass, maybe under a tree, and then I will visualize my birthday, March 30th, 1991. And then I will visualize me passing away at what would that be, 99? So March, I would don't. The only thing is, don't make it your own birthday, okay? So you could do April 15th, uh, April 15th, 2099, 91. I mean, okay, that would make me 99 years old. So you could do that. And another important thing about this is when it comes to death energy, you have to be conscious of the actual elements of death. So if you would wanna pass away a certain way, like let's say in your sleep, you might wanna do a water element that you pass away in. So Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Visualize the death date as Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And if you're a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio, don't visualize your own birthday. Why? Because that your birthday energy is very potent, and your birthday energy is the most potent day of the year for you. That's why we celebrate birthdays after you're born, because that's the highest. That's like damn near. That's like having 3 full moons on the same day during the during an eclipse or something like that. Okay, very potent if you know how to tap into it. And if you're one of those people who do magic, write your birthday over everything. Write your birthday on money. If you know the astrological signs of your birthday, if you know your sun sign, moon sign, and your ascendant sign, write that on your money, or write that on your girlfriend or boyfriend's picture, or somebody that you want to manifest, or something that you want to manifest, a picture, or your, if you got a dream board. I know I might be losing a couple people, but that's okay. But I very much so admire Foolio. I'm gonna end up wrapping this up real quick. Very much admire Foolio Um, a lot of things that him and Young and Ace did, I definitely don't agree with, because not only was Foolio sacrificing himself, he and Young and Ace were sacrificing the people of Jacksonville, just like Lil Durk was. Lil Durk was making songs about people smoking on the dead homies. You're not in Chicago and you're not going to slide. You don't live there, but you're making it more dangerous for people who live there. You're not only making it more dangerous where other people live that you don't know about and you don't care about, you're making it dangerous for the people who you actually care about that you love, which is very odd to me. And what that does is it does a lot of destruction. I'll just leave it at that. It's very obvious what it does. I will say, as far as clearing karma, I already told you how to do that. You have to balance things out. And you might say, Aaron Moses, how can I balance taking a person's life with anything? How can you balance taking a person's life? You gotta empower other people's lives. You have to give people energy that's gonna affect their lives for the rest of their lives in a positive way. You have to give something to somebody or take something away from somebody in a positive way that's going to affect their lives, that's going to bring them joy, happiness, bliss for eternity. That's how you neutralize taking somebody's life. Like I said before, you have to get that energy completely out of you. You have to purge it completely. You have to purge that energy from your mind, body, and soul. You cannot feel guilt. You cannot feel shame. You cannot feel fear from what you did, and you have to forgive yourself. You have to. That's how you totally neutralize the energy within inside you, bro. It might try to pop up on you. You might need some therapy, some psychotherapy to get that energy up out you. You might need to do some Reiki, some yoga. You might need to sage your body every day for the rest of your life. But it has to be done. You might have to fast for 2 days a week for 10 years. But if you keep that energy inside you and you think that, okay, well, I know I just shot 5 people. So let me give back some toys to the, no, keep the toys, bro. Just use that money and go meditate with the monks and separate your ego from your spirit. That's what you do. You don't go, don't shoot up a party and then start a turkey drive, bro. That's not how you clear. That's not how you clear your karma. That's not how it works. But you have to acknowledge death on a daily basis. You cannot diss the dead. Can't diss the dead. You have to acknowledge death on a daily basis, and you find out how to do that your own. I mean, you can whatever spirituality you believe in. You might wanna you might want to do some research on Santa Muerte, on Santissima Muerte. You might want to you might want to have some kind of skull or something in your house or around you just to acknowledge death on a daily basis if you live that life. You might want to visualize yourself dying every day and appreciate living and appreciate death. You might want to go to a cemetery once a week and just bring flowers to a random grave and just say God bless the dead and leave. But if you live that type of life, you cannot disrespect the dead and you cannot be scared to die and thinking that death is around the corner. Death is around the corner, bro. So why are you calling it? If you don't want to die, bro, act like it. You can't be talking about karma all in your songs and thinking you're invincible. And I love Foolio. And I really do not like the fact that I'm again one of those people who didn't start listening to his music. I listened to probably like 30 Foolio songs between today and like 2 days ago because the day before he passed away or 2 days before he passed away, I did a ritual that was very, very enlightening and changed my life. And then I saw like something about him and I was gonna watch it, but I didn't. And then I heard he died and I felt sad. And I usually don't feel sad for rappers I've never really listened to. I only heard like two of his songs. When I See You, I probably heard List of Dead Ops, and then like I said, Demigod. But at the end of the day, I do want to say, man, rest in peace, Foolio. It really doesn't feel real because I didn't really listen to bro like that, and I did watch the Vlad TV interview before he passed. But it's just a strange feeling, and um, I think bro's probably one of my favorite rappers now. Like I haven't heard one garbage song from him yet. It was songs I didn't agree with necessarily, but it wasn't like there wasn't a lot of talent and effort and magic put into his songs. Um, I will say that mental health is very important. I will say that I think it was his intention to sacrifice himself for Jacksonville to an extent because he knew that that had to be done. He knew that negativity weighs more than positivity, and that him putting that death energy around him would make Jacksonville very potent because death energy is one of the three energies that are the most potent energies for you to manifest with: sex, death energy, and the combination of sex and death energy. So with that, he knew it would work at some point, and he knew what his city was. He knew what it was capable of. And that's another thing. All these people, oh, I'm trying to put my city on the map. These people don't want to mess with my city. You do. You have to understand that. You have to understand that every city is an entity, bro. Every city is a male or a female god in its own right. Los Angeles is a female. Chicago is obviously a male. New Orleans is a gender neutral deity that is a vampire. Okay? Atlanta is a woman. New York City, a man. Okay? Miami, obviously, a female. You have to understand your city. You have to understand your city, how it operates, how it thinks. The deity itself. You have to channel that city, and you have to have love for that city. And you have to move with the city. And you have to feel with the city. You have to breathe with it. And he sacrificed himself for the people in his city to prosper. Now look at them. Everybody's making money off of Foolio right now. They're I don't he's giving these people opportunities to make more money than he made right now. Jacksonville is going to be on fire. Now I know what's happening with all the people, all the bodies dropping right now. But when it cools down, it's gonna be big, bro. And I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those fans who, I pick sides. But I just definitely enjoyed more of Fulio's music than Young and Ace. Now, I listen to Young and Ace more than I listen to Fulio, even though I still don't like Young and Ace's music more than his. It's just he was marketed more. Young and Ace was in my face more. And yeah, the Who I Smoke song, that went crazy, and I think that Fulio did his thing in a very balanced way with his reply. And I was very proud of him because it was the exact opposite energy and it was more grimy. But it was it was very emotionally confusing. And I think that's brilliant for an artist to be able to do an emotionally confusing song, but it still makes you feel good. I think you gotta be a talented person. You gotta be a talented individual. That's the same thing that MIA does, where she has all these political views in her music, but she uses dance beats, so you don't necessarily know what you're dancing to until you sit down and listen to the song. or you Google the lyrics, that's how When I See You was. That's how a couple of his songs were. The songs that weren't like super, most of them were straightforward. Like God Don't Know, like Rough Rider, like God Don't Know, Rough Rider, and Handle Business. Yeah, bro. But Foolio is definitely around me. Foolio's definitely here, and I don't want you to. I'm not one of those people who I'm gonna channel a spirit and I'm gonna put everything on YouTube and all of that. But I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope you got something from it. I hope you learned something from it. It's Aaron Moses. I'm the band. You the band. We're the band together. Man, life's in the breath. Breathe it in. RIP Foolio, man. And we do the same. I know you guys can't. You don't have visual, but we do the same little hand thing. I'm just doing that. That's for Aaron Moses and the W for We the Bang. But anyway, rest in peace, Foolio. Peace.